I am hem stitching here, and I realized that I have not mentioned hem stitching in any of my other videos. These are tiny mug rugs. They're about 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches to be used either as coasters, or you can put them on top of, they call them mug rugs, so that when you're outside you can put them on top of your mug to keep all of the bugs out. A lot of you know that I do medieval reenactments, and mug rugs are a big thing just to make sure that there's no bugs in my stuff. What the hem stitching does is basically a series of knots. Instead of taking bouts of 4 and literally tying a knot at the end, the hem stitching makes for a flatter, softer surface. Makes it easy to lay flat. Also makes it look nicer, I think. So for hem stitching, now I'm going to start in the purple, but then go through into the yellow. For hem stitching on this, I've chosen bouts of 4 ends because it is a smaller project. Most of the time I'll go with 8 or sometimes even 10, depending on what the project is. But you will put your yarn, this is the end of the project, by the way, not the beginning. You do exactly the opposite for the beginning. So I put the needle straight through. I will count out 4 ends and put my thumb there to hold that up. Okay, so that shows me where along this area I need to put the needle back up. So we go through that part and then back up right there. Approximately 2 or 3 final woven ends. Okay, so you do want to actually weave this into your woven project. Now I'm going to let go of that. I'm going to flip my yarn around my thumb to hold that. I'm going to go back through that first area and up. Remember when I had found those 4? Okay, and what that does is it tightens that into a knot. Now it's easier to see here because we've got a break in the colors. Okay, so I'm going down and back up approximately 2 or 3 into the weaving, flip that around my thumb, and then up and through. Okay, now I don't necessarily always do it over my thumb, but I thought that would be an easy way for you to see. Okay, and up, and now I'm doing it between the colors so you can see a little easier. Diagonal through, then flip that over, up and through. And now we can get into the yellows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, separate those out, put that up in between, and then, like I said, I don't always flip it over top of my thumb, but that's a good way to remember, hey, you need to do that. Flip that up between your thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. And up. And I'm sorry, my dog just joggled my camera there. And you will do this through the entire length until you get to the end. And it's gonna tighten it up so that you don't have to do any further knots or finishing of this particular project. You will be able to throw the whole thing in the wash and it will be stable. It won't unravel, it won't come apart. It's really nice for mug rugs or placemats, or if you're actually doing full-size rugs. This is a good way to make sure that your project, that your project is actually going to be finished. So flip it over, back up, going back through. It is a little bit more time consuming. but it is so worth it because it makes for such a nice, smooth, flat end. You know, when you tie knots, you've got that bump there. And if you accidentally put your mug down in the wrong spot, it's going to tip over. The black is really hard for me to see here, so I don't know if I'm doing 2 or 3 or 4. It's not an exact science as on the numbers. And there we go. And flip it over and back up. And this is the last one. Since we don't have anything to put it into, we'll just pull it through, flip it up, and then pull it through again to make a nice, neat knot. Now I've got all of this extra yarn here, and all I'm going to do, I think I'm probably going to have maybe a 1, maybe a 2-inch, I haven't decided yet, cut here, fringe. So I'm just going to cut that off there, and I'm going to leave it just kind of hanging because it's a knot. It's not going anywhere. See what I did there? It's not going anywhere. So that it just makes for a really nice, neat fringe at the very end.